Shalom, family. It's good to see everybody here. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Well, I have an update on what's going on with. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to pull up the picture that I have. All right. Okay. All right. If you can see my screen, please give me a one. Please give me a one if you can see the screen. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. All right. There is an update on Dexter Wade. His body has been exhumed, and his mother looks very upset, not because he was exhumed, it's because of what they did to her. They really doing this woman rotten. First of all, didn't tell her that her son was dead for the last 6 months, and they buried him without her knowledge. And he was exhumed Monday. They had agreed on a time for him to be exhumed and arranged for his mother to be there when it all happened. So they agreed at 11:30 in the morning on Monday. That's why she got black on, because she was going to be there to watch her son get exhumed. Well, when she got to the Paupers Cemetery, they dug him up and took his body hours before she got there. These people down there in Jackson, Mississippi are the true embodiment of a demon. It is just rotten how they're doing this woman. Yes, they agreed at 11:30 in the morning, and she got there and found out they had dug him up and took his body hours before she got there. They did that on purpose, y'all. They did it on purpose. Yeah, it is heartless. This is her son. You would think it was their son, the way they're acting, and to me, that makes it even more suspicious. Why are they trying to keep her son's body away from her? That is the question. Why? There's gotta be a reason why this is being done. All right, so let's get into this story. So, Dexter Wade's family suffer a final indignity as his exhumed body was dug up without ceremony. She went there in all black, and she wanted to be there and watch the entire thing. Well, they denied that of her. So Monday was supposed to be a day Betterston Wade would finally get a measure of peace. Instead, she suffered another indignity. Wade and her lawyers had arranged with Hines County officials to exhume the remains of her son, Dexter Wade, 37, who'd been struck and killed by a Jackson police officer and buried in a pauper's field at the county penal farm. Now, what is he doing at the county penal farm? He was not an inmate there. These people are so rotten. So they had agreed at 11:30 a.m. Monday. Her lawyers said they spoke with the county attorney Sunday to, confirm everything. But when Betterston Wade arrived at the penal farm, at the appointed time, dressed in black, her son's remains had already been dug up and put in a body bag and placed in the back of a Chevy Suburban. County officials said the public works crews had turned up earlier in the morning to remove the remains before anyone else arrived. So she had been cut out of the process once again. Wow. She goes on to say, "It makes me feel like I don't exist. It doesn't matter that I'm his mother. It didn't matter to them. They act like that's their child, and they're really the one who decides what happens to him. I didn't have any rights or say. That is rotten. That is absolutely rotten." So to her, the fact that they did this was another insult in the ordeal that began March 5th when she saw her son leave the home in Jackson, Mississippi, and she reported him missing 9 days later. Missing person investigators told her for months that they didn't know where he was. And then in late August, officers told her that he had been struck by a Jackson police cruiser while he was crossing a six-lane highway less than an hour after he'd left the home. The Hinds County coroner office told her his body had been buried in a pauper's field after it went unclaimed for months. Yes, it went unclaimed because y'all didn't properly notify her. You can't even say you didn't know where he lived. You had his ID, it had his address on it, and you can't even say you went over there. They didn't make any attempt to go to the house to inform her of what happened. So, to add insult to injury, y'all, his mother paid $250 to obtain the rights to her son's body and began working on getting him, so that she can do a proper funeral for him. She paid for this, and they still denied her the right to be there to see him get exhumed. And y'all ask yourself, they put him in a body bag. So what did they do? Just throw him in the ground with no coffin? I have to ask this question. They didn't say they exhumed his coffin. They said they had to put him in a body bag, which tells me they just threw him in the ground. Now, maybe I'm off, but that's what it sounds like to me. There is no mention of a coffin. Pauper's grave? I mean, do they get coffins for these people, or they don't do that? He went into a body bag. So let's go on. The case sparked public outrage, and NBC News reported it about a month ago. Civil rights attorney, we know Ben Crump, and Dennis Sweet took her case, helping her arrange for the body to be exhumed, an independent autopsy, and a funeral. All of this is in place. It's been arranged before he was even exhumed. And you know that old crooked behind Mayor Lumumba expressed regret, but he tried to say it was a miscommunication and there was no malicious intent. That's a damn lie. And this is all the reason why we cannot even trust a black politician. You can't trust them. So the Jackson Police Department has not responded about the case. No, because the Jackson Police, ladies and gentlemen, they are covering for that cop. I don't care what nobody say. They are covering for this cop. I am convinced of it. Yeah, this is just horrible. This is horrible, y'all. My heart goes out to this mother. I just can't imagine going through what she has gone through in all this time. This isn't right, and they know it's not right, but they also know what they can get away with. They also know this as well. No, cancel. Oh boy. I wish I could say it's gonna get better. I know it's not. I know it's not. So here is, she's at the grave site. She got the receipt for paying $250 to get her son's body. I mean, how much more do they want this woman to go through? So Mondays, so on Monday when they dug up Dexter Wade, they required approval from Hinds County Board of Supervisors, which it was granted on November 6th. The next day, the board attorney, Tony Gaylord, sent a letter to Sweet saying that, you know, the body would it be exhumed at 11:30 a.m. Monday. It's the procedure of the coroner to exhume the body from the burial site in the presence of representatives of Hinds County Sheriff's Department, the coroner's office, and the funeral home that will receive the body, Gaylord wrote. Hinds County Sheriff Tyree Jones, whose office runs the penal farm, said a crew of the Public Works Department, which is responsible for digging graves and maintaining the pauper's field, showed up earlier in the morning and with the help from people to detain the county jails, exhumed the body. Okay, so let's say they did show up early. Let's say they did. Why could you not contact this woman and let her know that? Why couldn't you just pick up the phone and said, "You know what? They arrived earlier than expected. Can you make it over here?" How hard would it have been to do that? How hard would it have been? How hard would it have been to even tell the crew that showed up, "We have a scheduled time for 11:30. Can y'all come back around 11:30?" They act like nothing could have been done except for they had to dig this body up right here and right now. I mean, just offered no options to this woman. Are they gonna refund her money? I mean, this is just awful. The more you read about it, the more terrible it sounds. Oh. So they go on and say, "We just go by the orders that they give us," Jones said. "So we don't have anything to do with the decision making as it relates to the Poppers area at all." Yeah, well, somebody's got to be in charge of the decision making over there. Somebody had to be in charge. My goodness. I mean, y'all can't even be halfway respectful to Dexter Wade's mother? After everything you've done to this woman, that's the least you should be able to do. Thank you, Pensy Lola. Ya blessed for the super chat. Thank you so much. I am horrified by this whole thing. I think anybody that's a mother would be horrified by this. And I just don't understand why they just can't respect this woman. Or try to go above and beyond because of what you've done to her son. They can't even do that. Alright, I wish I could say there wasn't more, there is more. Okay. After they exhumed Dexter, the dirt on Wade's former grave because he was marked not even with his name. They knew who he was, but he was marked with the number 672. It was packed down and smoothed over. David Archie, a member of the County Board of Supervisors, said that he asked the County Public Works Department for an explanation and was told there had been a miscommunication. How come they're telling her once again it's a miscommunication? What you told her in August, after keeping her in the dark for 6 straight months, it was a miscommunication. Now you're gonna use that same reason on why you exhumed his body ahead of the time you gave her and her attorneys? Everything's a miscommunication. Everything's a mis apparently, that's what they think they can use to get away with everything. Oh, so they claim it was a miscommunication about when it was expected to exhume the body. So they came early and they did what they did, Archie said. The Public Works Department didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. She need to add them to the lawsuit. She already got a lawsuit against the city and the police department. She need to ask the public works department for what they did. The disrespect of this family continues, Sweet said. Crump said that the early exhumation made it impossible to know the condition of Dexter's remains. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. They didn't want her there to see the condition of his body. That was the whole point. They didn't want her to see him. But if there's to be some kind of funeral, she surely will have to see her son. They are hiding this body from his mother. Okay, so why? What is it about this body that they don't want anybody to see? So Hinds County coroner Sharon Grisham Stewart told him that the unembalmed remains had been placed in a bag and then in a box, which was left behind when it was exhumed. Crump said he didn't believe the remains had been put in a box. That's exactly what I'm telling y'all. I think they just threw Dexter in the ground and he was not in any kind of box or coffin. I really believe that's what happened. They didn't want her to see it, and you see even Crump is saying the same thing. He don't believe he was buried in any kind of box, and I believe that too. I think they just took Dexter and whatever clothes he had on when he was hit by that vehicle, the police cruiser, and they just took him, dug a hole, and threw him in. I really truly believe that. I don't believe he was ever in a box. They're claiming they left the box and, bag behind. Well, did his mother see that? I bet you she didn't see no box. He thinks they wanted to exhume him out of the sight of the public. It's another indication that the authorities aren't being transparent about Dexter Wade's death and the aftermath. I agree with that wholeheartedly. They don't want there is something about Dexter's body that they don't want anybody to see. Like a thief in the night, they went and took the body out of the ground, Crump said. And he added, and they are hiding it. Wow. The transfer of Dexter Wade's remains didn't occur at the pauper's field, but up the road. So they got his body up and drove up the road beside the penal farm. They have horse stables over there. That's where observers had to step past manure. A pastor said a prayer to give Betterstein, Wade, and her family strength to make it through their ordeal. Wade wept and vented her anger. I don't blame her. She got every right to be angry. Yeah, she's mad. She has every right to be mad. You all keep telling me you didn't have you didn't do this intentionally. This is not intentional to me. But if this was your child, what would you all feel? She said. Is this how the system works? Then came the moment for the remains, now in a new body bag, to be removed from the coroner's SUV to the funeral home. Wade gasped in grief, reaching out for what's left of her son. My goodness. This is just horrible. This is hard. This is unforgivable. This is absolutely unforgivable, y'all. I don't blame this mother. My heart just aches for her. She done been through so much, and I guess they think it's not enough. And let's face it, if this was a white mother, none of this would have happened. They would have been notified right away. They would have been able to give a funeral to their son, and this would be a non-issue. This would be a non-issue. But this is a black mother in Jackson, Mississippi, y'all. So they just think they can do her any old kind of way. They think they can do her any kind of way. I would never forgive this. Like I said, Ben Crump need to add this to the lawsuit. This absolutely must be added. This must be added. This is so sad. Okay. Then came the moment for the remains, now in a new body bag, and to be moved to the coroner's SUV to the funeral home hearse. And they said his mother gasped in grief and reached out for what was left of her son. Oh my God. God have mercy. Dexter, I'm sorry, she said. This none of this is her fault. None of this is his mother's fault. The hearse drove away. She walked slowly back to her car, supported by one of her daughters. I'm still not at peace because I don't know what happened to him, Wade said, but he's going to be peaceful when he's in a proper grave. Dexter Wade's funeral is scheduled for next week. At this point, I wish y'all would hire some kind of security or something, or make sure someone is witnessing that this autopsy. Ask to have a witness there because I don't trust these people. I don't trust these people. They have done nothing but mislead this woman the entire time. They have done nothing but mislead her. This has been, I can imagine how horrible this whole event has been for this mother. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. And, I have heard all kinds of rotten things about Jackson, Mississippi, and how they have done the Black population there, but after watching this, I'm certain all of the stuff I've heard is true. Look, we just a year ago, we were hearing about all the water problems that were impacting just the Black residents down there. We have seen that. And we have seen them not care and not even fix the problem. Even that governor they got, the governor they have has not done anything to fix the problem. But think about this, y'all. They got water issues down there, but they had money to give to Brett Favre for some useless volleyball stadium at Southern Mississippi University. They had money for that, but they don't have money to fix the water problem that's been going on. They said damn near 100 years. They've been having water issues down there. They don't have no money for that, but they got money to give to some dude for some volleyball stadium. Boy, that place got hell to pay. They really, truly do. They got hell to pay, y'all. But I pray for this mother. I hope somewhere in all of this that she can find some kind of closure. I cannot comprehend what she has gone through. You might as well say the majority of this year, this woman has been catching all kinds of hell. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to give you that update. Yeah, yeah, Pink Blue. It is all the more reason for reparations. It's not just slavery. It's all the hell our people has gone through long past slavery and still continue to deal with even to this very day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And please put your comments down there. I always love reading your comments, and share this live stream. We never should lose sight of what they do to us on a regular basis and will continue to do. And these heartless people think that when something goes down, we should be on their side. They really, truly got a lot of nerve, for real. Shalom, family.